There's a lot written about autonomous vehicles, but when it comes to autonomous flying vehicles, people are a little unsure. So Sebastian, what would a daily commute look like when we have fully deployed functioning autonomous flying vehicles in our everyday lives?
Just picture yourself being stuck in traffic and nothing is moving. And now imagine your car had this wonderful little button that would lift you up by 300 feet. And you could now fly over the highway and not be stuck anymore. That's maybe a little bit simplistic. The vehicles we do build don't really have wheels, but they can take off vertically like a helicopter, and they can fly on a straight line at maybe 200 miles per hour to where you're going. We need to have a highway system, an imaginary, invisible highway system over our cities where these vehicles can then go into an invisible but well-defined highway lane.
And so then we're coming a lot closer to actually seeing autonomous flying vehicles in the skies. What are some of the design features that are necessary to actually make this happen?
First and foremost, concern is safety. And the reason is if something goes wrong and you're 500 feet in the air, it's not so good. Secondly, it's been noise. We've worked really hard on making these vehicles so quiet you can't even hear them. And then finally, I want this to be a technology that's available for everybody. It can't be as expensive as a helicopter. I want it to be really affordable. In fact, I envision a future where flying to work will be cheaper than driving to work.
You're using artificial intelligence. How specifically is artificial intelligence being incorporated into the autonomous flying vehicles?
It's a big deal, and we use it at many different levels. We use it in terms of having the vehicle understand its surroundings, finding things like obstacles and power lines. And we use it for controls to make sure that the vehicle itself flies very smoothly. The vehicles we build often have 10, 12 propellers, and no human being is able to manually control 12 propellers.
So you're working on multiple products within the autonomous flying vehicle area. Which one do you see coming to market first?
The one that's the furthest ahead right now is Flyer. Flyer is, you can think of it as a human drone. We fly it mostly over border for safety purposes. And we've already had many people outside my company experience the experience of flight. That's really just a stepping stone. We're working on a second vehicle we call Heaviside, which has a big wing, and as a result can fly much faster and much further. And that's still under development.
Let's take a look at some of the limitations. For example, when it comes to flight, battery life is something to consider. How are you, tackling those kinds of limitations?
Battery is the number one, number two, number three limitations right now. And it's not just life cycles for batteries, it's also the ability to charge them. They hold relatively little energy for the weight that they have, much less than, say, gasoline or jet fuel. However, we just demonstrated this, our Heaviside vehicle flew over 100 miles on a single charge plus reserves. So if your daily commute is in the range of less than 100 miles, we probably can help you.
And lastly, the most important question is, how far off do you believe we are to seeing fully deployed autonomous vehicles outside our windows?
I think we're going to see first pilots come up in the next 24 months that people can try it out and experience it. And I'd say it's going to be another, 10 years until we find cities having more flights than drives per day, but it's going to happen. There was a time when there were more horses than cars on the roads, and those times are passé. The same will happen here. At some point, we'll see more aircraft than cars in the sky.